Hello, how are you? I'm Tainan Fidelis from Hook Captain, and today I am going to share with you my progress regarding generating source code from higher level models like ontologies or UML, and I've read some books on the matter to understand it better and try to move it for implementation, so hands-on. And well, let's go to the books first. So this is my desk, and this is the first book that I've studied, Semantic Web for the Working Ontologist. Well, this one talks about ontology in general. I didn't had a lot of knowledge regarding the matter, so the subject. So I had to understand what are ontologies, how they can be useful. I didn't know that they could be useful for a feeling that I had. I've read about Google knowledge base in many books, and I thought, yes, this could work, and that's why the first book that I got, it was this. And the next one was ontology driven software development, and this one, semantic software design. Well, to be true, the semantic software design from Eben Hewitt was not that useful for our research here in Hook Captain channel, because it was more generalist. It was more regarding the role of the architects while they are creating software. To the author try to make us to think that architects have to see themselves as designers, as creative directors, rather than architects or engineers, because in software we are creating some kind of art, some kind of dynamic products, and in his vision this is very different from creating cars or some kind of products that we can do in industries. And I agree with him in this point, and I recommend the book. It's a good book, but it was not that useful for us here in Hook Captain. Regarding the other one, ontology driven software development, it was very helpful because he presented some kind of tools, some kind of process, some kind of diagrams that are being used to create software using ontologies, the relationship with UML and other type of models, and the relationship with MDE, that is model-driven engineering, MDA, model-driven architecture. Ontologies and MDE are not tightly related right now, in the theory at least. So our approach here, if this approach works, it would be some kind of innovation, even in the academia. But the book presented many research for us to get moving. Okay, and the last one, model-driven engineering and ontology development. Well, to be clear, this one I thought it was exactly what I needed. I asked ChatGPT for these suggestions, but this book, the goal of the book, of the authors, was to make the inverse of what we are thinking here, Hook Captain. He was thinking about creating ontologies from UML models. Okay, so we want the other way around, to create source code from ontology. If we have to pass through UML, it's okay, but our goal is to create source code, to generate source code from higher level models, and in this case, ontologies. Okay, so let's go to the steps that I think we have to take here and the doubts that I have. So here is the diagram right now, and let's go to the steps. First, here we have the input of the system, that it's natural language voice or text, and then we will extract entities from this input. Okay, so after we extract the entities, and for entities, I have to say that I am thinking about the classes, the relationships, the cardinality, and other things that are very important for us to create the source code. So the main things, the main aspects and characteristics of the project, okay? After this, I'm thinking in reusing some kind of base ontologies files, and from these base ontologies files, we could create an ontology file for this instance. So instance ontologies files. Here, like we have in UML, class, object, properties, relationships, we have to create, I think that we have to create some kind of base ontologies files that would define the meta model. So what kind of classes we have here, what kind of properties we have in our ontologies for both static and dynamic parts of the software, because the software has the static part, data and structure, and dynamic part, the process, what happens before and after what. And using these base ontology files, so these meta models, we could then create our instances with the input of the user, okay? Then in step 5, we could have a reasoner. I have showed to you in our last video using Protege how the reasoner works, so we can check if this instance of ontology files are working properly. But my question is there a reasoner that I can deploy in our web service? This is one of my doubts. And then we could have the reasoner feedback. So okay, your model is working well, and then we can move forward, or no, your model is not consistent, is not coherent, so you have to go back to the first part and talk again. We have to extract entities again to generate another file, and then try to move forward, okay? And then after we have the valid ontologies, some valid ontologies files, we can go to the code generation. So ontology to UML, UML files, UML to source code, and then source code. So ontology to UML, UML source files, UML to code, and then we are done. And I have some doubts here. If we have some base ontologies in the web, public ontologies to represent this static and dynamic behavior of software, if we have to use XML or JSON, in the theory, there a lot of projects, a lot of articles use XML, but the articles are from some years ago. If we can use JSON, it would be better. Regarding code generators, my doubt is if we have to go through UML, or we can go from ontologies to source code somehow. And Sparkle, how to carry. Here we can carry in our reasoner, in our ontology engine, and I have to go deeper on it. And O2ML, I don't know if we have some kind of tools to that. I have read about some of these tools like to use, but I am not sure. So these are my news. I hope you liked it. Please leave a like in this video and subscribe to the channel. I also would like to thank Tish Shongora from Udemy, because he shared some articles for us to study. Thank you, Tish!